So I just watched Spider-Man Far From Home, and it was decent. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, it was pretty good, I think. If you're looking for some dumb fun to watch in a theater, this is not necessarily a bad choice. It's a Marvel movie. The humor in this film was much better than the first one, I think. And I say I think because I've forgotten most of the first movie. I think the biggest problem with these films is that they're more or less disposable. There's nothing about them that leaves a strong impression on me. The music's fine, the action's fine, but there's nothing really exceptional. I remember enjoying Spider-Man Homecoming when I saw it, but now at this point all I remember is just how underwhelming the cinematography was, which is unfortunately an issue in this film as well. Aside from the computer-animated action scenes, every shot was way too close. And I'm not trying to say that everything needs to be some sort of art film, I guess, but your entire marketing campaign is based around how they actually filmed this in Europe. It's pretty much the only takeaway from the title and the poster that this one's not in America. The locations where they filmed had some absolutely beautiful and breathtaking environments, but we never really got to see them. You would have beautiful shots in your film if you just pulled back the camera a bit every once in a while. The way it's presented, you might as well have filmed the entire thing on a soundstage in LA. It doesn't feel like it would be any different if that were the case. As soon as you're making a movie for Disney Marvel, I guess you're not really allowed to have a personality when it comes to the shot composition. Everything has to look really stale and boring. You're in the environment and I want to see it. Why don't you want me to see the environment you're in? It's honestly pretty frustrating, especially when the environment itself would pretty much be doing the work for you. I want a nice looking shot and there are none of those in this movie. There are some concepts for sequences that were visually interesting for sure, and by that I mean the animation was really interesting, even though the framing and cinematography left a lot to be desired. Now it's been 4 days since I've seen this in theaters, and I feel like I'd be a lot more positive in my review if I made this right after watching it, and it's probably a good thing that I didn't, because otherwise I'd just wind up lowering my rating after the video like I did with Spider-Man Homecoming. There are some positive aspects that left a bit of an impression on me, so I guess I'll talk about those now. I really like where the story started from after the events of Endgame. There were a lot of things that I was hoping they would address, and they did, and I'm happy that they did it in a playful and comedic way. Jake Gyllenhaal was great as usual. He's an actor that I consider to be pretty director independent, meaning that he's almost always able to put out a great performance no matter what movie he's in. Without spoiling anything, both the mid-credits and post-credits sequences were among the best I've seen. Not really anything to do with the filmmaking per se, but some pretty satisfying choices for story and casting. I guess that's where a lot of their focus is at this point. When superfans talk about what they liked about these movies, they're almost always talking about the sequence of events. I like that this happened, and I like that this happened, sort of thing. But those don't really mean anything to me in terms of leaving an impression. When thinking of my favorite movies of the year, I can perfectly visualize specific shots, sounds, and editing choices, but all I'm left with in these Marvel movies is more or less just what happened with the characters, and that's it. Aside from some cool animation, I feel pretty starved for appreciation for the actual filmmaking, and this is all I'm left with only 4 days after seeing it. Oh no, a fight scene in a carnival where some of the characters are stuck on a Ferris wheel. That's never happened before. The opening scene of the film was janky as hell. It literally felt like they just plucked a scene from the trailer and threw it in. The resolution to the scene on the bus felt really dumb. What did I even like about this? It's just so incredibly disposable. I had fun killing a couple hours at the theater, and there were things that happened that were kind of funny and kind of exciting at some points in time, but the filmmaking was just so bland that none of this is going to stick with me at all. I was thinking of giving this movie a 6 out of 10 because I thought I enjoyed it, but now I guess I'm just giving it a 5. I watched it and it was kind of fun, but now I'm just done with it, and I see no reason to ever watch it again. Check this one out if you want, it's kind of fun, and I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10, I guess. Bye.